Senegal has begun voting in a process where incumbent President Macky Sall is seen as a favorite after strong economic growth in his first term. Rights groups have, however, criticized him for squeezing out rivals. The government has dismissed the criticism, promising a free and fair election. About 6.5 million people are registered to vote at polling stations. According to the Senegalese Electoral Commission, polls opened at 8 a.m. and will close at 6 p.m. local time. Official results are due out on Friday, with a runoff for the top two on March the 24th if no one secures a majority vote. Well, earlier, the president of the National Autonomous Electoral Commission of Senegal made assurances that reliable measures are in place to ensure a smooth, fair and peaceful, open and transparent vote.
Au siège du tribunal d'instance est remis.
After the vote, once the counting has been completed, a report of the polling station is made. The reports are signed by all the political parties that are members of the polling station and posted at the door of each station. It is also signed by a representative of the SINA who accompanies him himself with the security forces to the headquarters of the local court. This report is escorted and handed over to the president of the local court or to the judges who are appointed to preside over the work of the Commission for the receiving of votes at the departmental level.
CGTN's Wilkis Anyabo is following the process from the Senegalese capital, Dakar. She's joining me now live from there. Wilkis, so the voting process is underway. The poll stations opened at 8 a.m. local time in Senegal. How is the voting process so far? Have there been any reported hitches?
Hello, Beatrice. Voting began bright and early here in Dakar, and we can say that we have not received any reports of hitches, perhaps just minor issues here and there in the polling station where we are. Voting started slightly after 8 in some instances. We are at a stadium right in the middle of Dakar where there are 13 polling stations, and while some began at 8 on the dot, others began at around 8:15 or 8:20 because they were still unpacking materials and they were still laying them out. But apart from that, we have not really had of really just major issues in some of these areas. We have seen a number of voters were here by 6 a.m. Voting was to start at 8, but they were already here by 6 a.m. waiting patiently for their turn, for the doors to open so that they could go inside and cast their votes. And so far we have seen quite a number of those have cast their votes and have already left for home. So I would say that so far it does seem to be going quite fast. The queues seem to be moving, and people seem to be very calm and in the mood to just vote, to get this done and to move on to the next thing and wait for the results. So far I would say that it's been largely uneventful in this area, Beatrice.
Okay, so it does seem like it's a very orderly process at the moment, but we've also heard the head of the Autonomous Electoral Commission explaining the process to vote counting. Is Friday a practical day to expect a result?
It really does seem to be on course, Beatrice, because we do know that the moment the polling stations close today at 6 p.m, immediately they close, the counting will begin at the polling stations, and these numbers will be posted right outside the polling stations. And we know that the tallying will begin collating the numbers from different regions across the country. So barring any unforeseen circumstances, if everyone starts and ends at roughly the same time and the counting begins, it does seem to be on course to give these results in a timely fashion, Beatrice.
Well, Kista Nyabo joining us there from the capital of Senegal in Dakar. Thank you.